Hello to all my crustacean friends out there. Being that it's cancer season, I felt this would be a good opportunity to go through some cancer health considerations of how you can live your life and benefit from the energy of the season. So let's get right into it. Cancer as a sign rules the chest, the breasts, the lower one-third part of the lungs, as well as the diaphragm and the stomach. One major point I want to have put out there about cancers is that they're actually one of the most food sensitive signs of the zodiac, so it's very important that we actually have a very allergen free food type of diet for cancers to actually benefit from best. So more than anything, the primary goal of cancer nutrition and dietary recommendations is to create like this deep feeling of safety, trust in the body, no matter what state that it's in. Because cancers are actually one of the most food reactive signs, things like eggs, sugar, as well as any kind of dairy should be just very monitored, because you don't want to make cancer people like retain too much water, and there's a dampness about these foods that can actually affect them. Hot as well as even room temperature drinks like hot tea, for example, can really help benefit digestion for cancers. And truthfully, I would stay away from cold beverages and anything that has ice in it, because that's going to stagnate the digestion aspect, and it's basically just going to be having to like divert blood from other parts of the body into digestion, so it shunts all that blood and activity to the GI tract. So this can cause things like brain fog, fatigue, and genuinely make somebody have just more of this like a way of feeling. However, they do very well with things like purees and soups and mashes and anything that's already going to be broken down food, so the stomach has to do less work. Brining, marinating, or slow cooking meats will also be really helpful for the digestion and getting adequate protein intake for a cancer. It also helps to add bitter foods to each of their meals too, to help drain excess water. So things like arugula, Brussels sprouts, broccoli are all really good foods as bitters to actually help drain that excess water from their digestion. In terms of activity and movement, cancers do very well with soft, slow, restorative movements. So things like yin yoga, mobility, active recovery, deep, rhythmic breathing. And they also benefit a lot from using recovery tools such as foam rollers. Again, this comes to that basic concept of cultivating safety. That being said, we can't forget about the pinchers of the crab. Boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA fighting training is also really good to actually help out with cancer's overall vitality. And again, since cancers rule the chest and the breast, it's really good for them to do things like push-ups, bench presses, or even planks to actually help build like a strong upper body for themselves. In terms of running, cancers actually really benefit from doing what's called fartlek running, where you basically start off with a moderate run and then you pick up the pace to go even faster, and then you can either slow down, completely stop, walk, and then repeat this cycle over and over again. And they really benefit from doing this. In addition to do slow active recovery yoga, they really benefit also from doing moon salutations. Since cancer is ruled by the moon, this is very helpful for them in regards to just their overall vitality as well. Some clinical key points I wanted to have put out there about cancer patients that I've seen in the past is that they can have this kind of chronic fatigue symptomatology, which can either relate to digestive or even emotional, because they have a similar process of how they go through our bodies as well as our mind, where it's an ingestion, digestion, absorption, and then excretion aspect of how it goes through their whole system and processing. I've also seen, in addition to some food sensitivities, that they can have some menstrual irregularities at times, women, and they can also have some hormonal imbalances as a result of this. So it's very important that we know what kind of nutrition they're getting from a vitamin and mineral standpoint. These signs typically need a lot more sleep. They tend to be a little more vivid dreamers. So again, it's good that we put this importance on how their nurturing for themselves goes, since they're the nurturers of the zodiac as their archetype. So I hope you cancers out there have learned something. I hope you take the time to nurture yourselves, and I hope you learned something.